Alafia, Shalafia ni Bogbo Eniyan. I am Awo Ifajimini Ray.
I am Awo Ifatogunshe.
And you were tuned into
the best,
the greatest
podcast
on the planet Earth. Let's talk IFA.
Ashewa. I want more Duduwa. I want Bogbo Enya.
Ashewa. Ire Lopo. Kosi Bogbo Ajogun.
Kosi.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk IFA. Thank you. We love you. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. As usual, we pray for you and your families.
Ashe.
Your children.
Ashe.
May we never have to bury any of our children.
Ashe.
Ire aiku omo. Ire lopo.
Ashe.
May we have all of the
days of life
that we brought here from a room. May we all achieve our destiny, our greatness,
our successes.
Ashe.
Let's get into it.
We're going to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
I think that the people will appreciate and love today's topic, how to start your IFA journey with no money.
No dinero.
No peso, no naira, no dollar. How to start your IFA journey with no money.
No dollars. Well, I think I would say this.
I think it's a controversial topic because a lot of people complain about how expensive IFA is. And
there's some charges out here. There's some people that will charge you to the game as well. But with one thing you got to realize, and one thing we have to realize as priests, as custodians of the culture, one thing we have to realize is that we all come into this world with certain tools already. For example, we all come into the world with Ori. We don't come to the earth and go buy Ori. We come into the world with Ori already. Mm-hmm. And Ori is a valuable, if not the most valuable power that one has in life. Without it, you cannot function.
I see.
So a process that I do when I have a ledger or clients that come to me and they say, well, Baba, I don't have the money for the divination, but Baba, is there something that I can do? Mm-hmm. And so I always tell them, yes, of course. You have your Ori, you have your head, which is very valuable, and you have your ancestors. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things you can do for Ori is when you wake up in the morning, before you talk to anybody in your household, you greet yourself by putting your hands on your Ori, on your head, and praying within and asking the Creator to bless your Ori and help to guide you through the day. Now, these are things that you should do daily. These are things that should become a discipline, because that is another tool. Another thing that you have, or that I give people, is I try to give them, at least start them off with one principle. And that principle is discipline. It don't cost money to work on your discipline. It's something that you start with. And the beginning of the discipline is by greeting your Ori every day and making that a habit. And if you want to, another thing I kind of tell people too is write down, if you want to, journal how you felt after you have prepared your Ori for that day. Write down how you felt, and then you read that. That's self-reflection. You read and say, oh, I felt, wow, so for the past 7 days of me greeting my Ori, these are the events that happened that day for me. Wow, I'm not too emotional anymore. My temperament is down. Mm-hmm. You know, I have some control. I have some level of patience. and so you seeing these things, and so these are practices that you can start with Ori. I always start them off with Ori before I even take them into ancestors. I usually give them around. I usually say start with Ori and do Ori straight for at least 16 to 21 days, and then call me and tell me how you feel. After those 16 to 21 days, give me a call and tell me how you feel. Most of the times, they have good results because they put in the time and the discipline, for one, to do that every day, at least 3 times a day. I tell them 3 times a day. My guys that are incarcerated, I'll tell them to do it in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening before they go to sleep. So that's my beginning process.
Yeah. So, like the Baba, he just dropped some gems. Don't let it go over your head because it sounds simple. No blood involved, no offerings, no, nothing but the offering, like he said, is the discipline, is saying the prayers to your Ori, connecting with your Ori, which is the most powerful Orisha that one can have to assist us, right? Sure. It's our inner spirit. So tapping into that with, simple rituals, holding your Ori in the morning before you speak to anybody. There's some chants and some prayers that you can say. Like the Baba said, 16 days, 21 days. Do it in the morning before you speak to anybody. Do it at night before you go to make that the last thing you do before you go to sleep, Along with that, the Ori work, I always encourage people to, keep it real with yourself.
Sure.
And try to reflect on your situation, and because if you don't have no money, then 9 times out of 10 you're not in the best situation. So while you're connecting with your Ori and saying prayers to your Ori, try to do some self-reflection and keep it real with yourself and figure out why you're in the position that you're in. Try to be objective and figure out, take a hard look in the mirror and say, what was my role in, getting me where I am right now at this point in my life where I don't have no money. And start to process those things and kind of do that shadow work, as they call it.
Yeah.
Start to try to clean out some of them skeletons in your closet while you're connecting with your Ori. And then, you can use cool water, certain coconut water, certain things. We might check on it and give you a recommendation based on advice from spirit on, some things that people can do to aid them in connecting with their Ori and thinking, better and having clearer thoughts and just, knowledge of self, know thyself.
Sure.
Get to know yourself, accept yourself. A lot of these things are things that are off because that's one of the reasons that you might be in a situation where you don't have, any money. There's some things that you're off path of your destiny. You're something's out of alignment. So now we bring it to the ancestors. And I've done this before myself. I've been in the situation and, like Baba said, the ancestor altar is basically free. It can be as simple or as complex or as small, as big as you want it, but it's practically free, and a powerful way to use and the ancestors and to tap in with them to help change your situation. You go to them every morning.
Sure.
You go to the ancestors every morning. You pour your, libation. You open up. You give thanks. You say your general prayers, and then you go into your specific prayers, and you tell them and you ask them, I'm seeking your guidance. I'm seeking your protection. I'm seeking your help. this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get from here to here. I need your help and your assistance. You come and you do that every single morning. And, you have to be doing something for them to get behind you. You got to be working or have a business, or you got to be doing your part. And when you, it's an exchange. And when you do that, I'm telling you, it works. You will find that you'll start getting messages. Things will start moving and happening for you in different ways. And then what you do is you give them a IOU. Mm-hmm. You make a promise to them to say, okay, look, if you help me,
I'm going to give you.
If you help me do this and get from here to here.
When I get to here,
I promise to come back and do X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta be honest about it, because this process that the Baba is explaining, and what I've explained as well from Ori to ancestors, the process of doing that requires you to be honest. That's one of the codes of conduct in IFA, is honesty. So you have to be honest when you're doing it. Another thing is, if you don't have any Owo, when you make your prayers to your Ori and your ancestors, ask them to put you in a position to acquire the necessary resources that you need. And like the Baba said, if they do that, Ori ancestors, if you do that, I promise that I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to give you my mother told me by Rataroon. She said years ago when she didn't have no money, mm-hmm. and she said she went to Elegba, mm-hmm. and said she went to her Eshu and said, you better open up some type of door, or give me some type of opportunity so this money can come, or I'm gonna throw you away. She said a couple of hours after that, she got a client called her, mm-hmm. and he needed some stuff done, mm-hmm. and he said, I'll give you. It was a big amount of money if you do it. And this was like 2-3 hours mm-hmm. after she went to Eshu and said that. I said, whoa. It's like now I'm not telling y'all, because this is a priestess now that knew what she was doing.
Don't go try that.
Don't go try that. And you don't know what you're doing. But mm-hmm. I just found that was funny, because a couple of hours afterwards, she mm-hmm. got a call and said, boom. So, but she took care of her Eshu.
She took care of her Eshu.
Now,
has she not took care of her Eshu?
If I don't this money, you ain't gonna get nothing.
Right.
You gonna hit the road. Yep. Eshu was like, all right.
Opened it up.
This lady worked.
And now I need mine.
And now I need mine. Exactly.
It's an exchange. And you make a promise to whatever it is.
And you stick
whatever
to
they
it.
want. Yeah. I'm gonna, whatever that promise may be, and you stick to it, you'll get what you were looking for. And you have to keep your promise, whatever that promise is. They will help you get out of the mud, but you mm-hmm. have to go every morning, and you have to be you have to be
diligent.
You got to be diligent. You got to be disciplined, and you have to really hold on to them and believe and know that they're going to help you. Because I've been there and I've done it.
And you got to work.
Works.
But you got to
And then you got to go work, like we said.
You got to work. You just can't go to the shrine and say, Eshu, bless me with some money. Mm-mm. And then you go and get back in your bed and hide up under your covers and expect when you pull the covers off, the money going to be right in front of your bed waiting because you went to Eshu or you went to your Ori. No. In the process of it, you got to continue to go to your job or try to make a way or try to apply for whatever job you're trying to get. You got to do those things while you are appeasing your Ori, appeasing your ancestors, being honest within, being disciplined, having faith, because that's another thing. When you don't have no money and you going through this process of appeasing your Ori and appeasing your ancestors, and you asking them to get you from one level to the next, you got to have the faith that they're going to get you there. You have to have the faith that they're listening to you, they hear you, and they're going to get you there. But you got to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. You can't just go to your Ori one day and go to your ancestors one day, and then 30 days later you say, "Well, I probably need to do that again,"
because it ain't
working.
You
can't do that. You can't.
It don't work like that.
You got to do it every
morning.
day.
You don't have no money and you don't have nothing. You got to do this every day.
And these are things that don't cost money, so you don't have to be stressed out about trying to get the money to pay for your Ori.
5 minutes. 5-10 minutes a day.
That's it.
Talk to them. Narrate. Set your altar up. Light a candle. Speak over the candle. Narrate to them what's going on. And then you got to go out and you got to do the work. And I'm telling you, like, I've done it before myself. They will help you.
I've done it.
Get through whatever it is that you going through, and they will help you get boom to boom. All right, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to feed you, or I'm going to make your altar bigger, or I'm going to give you this or that, or whatever it is. No, it don't have to be no animal or nothing, but you're just promising them that, when I get from here to here, I'm going to do a party for you. Whatever it is.
I'm going to party and I'm going to feast
you. I'm going to get this divination, and then I'm going to get, like, whatever that pact is that you decide to make with them.
Because you got to understand, it's an exchange.
It's an exchange.
It's an exchange of energy. That's an offering in itself. Prayer is when you giving up your breath that Eledumare
energy
gave you. You're giving up energy and in exchange for you moving from one level to the next level. So these are the things that you can do. When you don't have no money, you still have the tools. You can still go to your own inner head.
Your Ori.
And your ancestors.
That's your first Orisha right here.
When you were born, they came with you into this physical realm.
I say.
So this is what you have. This is it don't take no money to pay for that. It's what you have. Your Ori is connected to your ancestors and to all of the natural things on this earth. Other things you can do is, when you don't have no money, you can go to the natural forces. You can go to the river. You can go to the beach. You can go to the lake. You can go to the crossroads. You can go to the foot of a big tree. You can, you can go to the woods. You can go to the railroad tracks. These are power places that you can go and call on the Orisha if you don't have no money. Now sometimes you may come across a good priest, and he might ask, Ifa, this person doesn't have no money for their bar. Is there anything that I can do for them? And he may throw the opwele, yes or no, touch the Igbo and throw yes or no. And if let's say Ifa says, yes, there's something that you can do for them, the Babalawo or the Olorisha may go a little further and ask what it is. What can I do for them? That they don't need no money. Sometimes, I kind of make that a practice. And a lot of times I'll ask, if it's something I can give to Eshu, like some Ekor and some Epor, some Pap and some Epor, until that client can
on their
get
behalf.
the Dafa on their behalf. A good priest, honest priest, a priest for the people, a priest who cares about the people, a priest that understands that person's position at that time, will ask Ifa these things to help the client, and in return, when that client get on his feet, then the client should come back.
Promises to come back and do
pay the
whatever.
Pay IFA or pay the ancestors.
Whatever they ask for.
Right. So
we might not do it, and so we might just say, okay, if you help me do this or get from here to here, when I get it, I promise to come back and I give you whatever you ask for. We might check it later. It might not be a pre-arranged thing. You might just come back and say, all right, I'm in a better position now. Let's check and let's ask what they want now in thanks and return and gratitude for getting you over the hump. Because just a small, some palm oil and a cola nut can go a long way in helping somebody. You don't always have to have no big sacrifice or no blood or animal or a whole, it's not the amount of stuff. It's what they ask for.
Sometimes for a client that comes to an Awo or Olorisha and, they might, a bar might be marked for them and they may not have the money for it. So the priest might ask, is there something that this client can do for me and I will make the bar? Sometimes it may be simple as you going and cleaning their house or you going and cleaning their yard or something like that in exchange for the
exchange, right?
These are things that a priest can do. For all of y'all priests out there, make it a habit of doing these things because you're going to have alleged or clients come to you and they don't have the finances to pay. Sometimes they may not have the finances to pay for a dafa, and they may need that dafa really, really bad. Do it for them and see. A question you can ask is that person, can they do something for me in my yard or clean my yard or rake the yard or something, clean my house, everything, some people might say, I don't want them coming to my house and touching my, but, that's what that is. But these are creative things that the priest, I'm talking to the priest now, these are things that you can do. Like have some sympathy for those who don't have it because they do come, and they can be, sometimes it may be an Orisha in disguise just to test the priest.
Thank you. That's true.
My mother used to always say that, true. Always give, my mother taught us at a young age to always give alms to the poor. When you see something, if you got $1 in your pocket you can spare, and you walk into the store, and then somebody is standing at the door of the store, and they say, "Sir, do you got $1?" If you got $1 in your pocket, give it to them because you just never know who that person is in disguise, and they can be testing you.
That's true. Because a lot of times, that's Eshu.
You're right.
Eshu will do that.
Just to see.
And test you sometimes. That's definitely true. On another thing is, this just recently happened. Young brother that I know, was in a little bit of situation and got a court case, a little litigation going on, and they got a divination from another priest, and he was telling me that he didn't have the money because he got to pay the lawyer and get ready for the the court case, and he felt like it was kind of steep or whatever, so he had an itemized breakdown of everything, and he ran it down to me. I said, well, you had 2 goats, you got Okete, giant rat, and this, that, and that. I said, the breakdown looks right to me, but I said, look, if you don't have the money right now for the court case or the lawyer or whatever, and the ball, because it came to like 11, something with all of that stuff, the materials, the labor, all of that, right?
Yeah, be like that.
And I said, look, contact the priest and ask him to ask IFA, because it was a male goat and a female goat, right? Ask IFA that to tell that you don't really have all the money right now. You're trying to deal with the situation. Ask the priest to ask Ifa if Ifa, whatever the Orisha he was feeding, will accept a hen and a rooster in place of the female goat and the male goat for now, with a promise to come back later and do the goat if they bless you to get through this situation. And then when you have it, to come back and promise to do that.
Yes.
So I don't know what the outcome was, but I'm just saying that to say that that's something else that can be done in certain situations where somebody may not have all the money to do what's prescribed. Even if the prescription was the sacrifice was a hen and a rooster, and let's say they didn't really have the money to do that. Okay, like Baba said, you could check with Ifa to say, look, you basically kind of pleading their case on their behalf and saying the person doesn't have the money for this right now. Is there something else that we can do right now that I can give you the substitute as a placeholder until the situation improves, and they promise to come back and then do the hen and the rooster, right? You have to check.
Right.
Because you gotta see what they say.
You gotta realize that Ifa, this system, the ancestors, the Irumale, the Orisha, they are forces of nature, and they understand. They're balanced forces. These are forces that can get hot, and these are forces that can be cool. Some of these forces are naturally cool. Some of the forces are naturally hot. So, but these forces, these ancestors, these Orisha, these Irumale, they understand your case. And when you plead your case to them, they will hear, and they know if it's true or not. The Orishas know if you got money, but you coming to the priest pretending that you don't have no money, for your work, and you trying to slick or get over on not just the priest, you trying to get over on the Irumale and the ancestors. You're trying to get over on them. Not the priest is just the medium, but the Irumale and the Orisha and the ancestors know if you don't have it.
Yeah.
And so, when the Awo drops the Opwele and asks the question, if it's a yes or if it's a no, whatever it is, know that the force, the higher forces know. If it says yes, you can do something for them because they don't have the money. So yes, you can do give Eshu some epa until they, they know. So, just be honest. Be very honest. First with yourself. Be honest with yourself, and then honest with the people. And things will work out the way they're supposed to. The chips are going to fall how they're going to fall.
And in some cases, if you ask the ancestors, if I reach or whatever, whoever you're dealing with that's in the situation, and they say no, that can be based on the person's character. It can be based on their past behavior or certain things that they've done. They might be just hard-headed and stubborn, and they have created this situation for themselves. So sometimes they might say, no, I'm not taking anything less because this person's hard-headed, or I've been telling them, or they have a tendency to do this or do that, or they something about their character or whatever. They might say, no, I'm not going to accept, anything less. They have to do this.
They have to do it. This is just the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are two of the best ways that we know work for people to start their spiritual journey in Ifa with absolutely no money. Working with your Ori and working with your ancestors in the morning, being diligent. I'm talking about every morning. You get up and greet them and say your prayers. You know, if you got time, you can meditate or whatever. If you do this consistently, 16 days, 21 days, and also continue to do it until you get the results that you're looking for, they will bless you. And it won't take that long for you to see the progress and the difference in your life.
Because you're putting in the time, putting in the effort, and you're doing it with faith. You're doing it with honesty. You're doing it with courage. You're doing it with love.
Ashe. You're doing the right thing for the right reason at the right time. And that's what spirituality is all about.
Ashe.
So Ori and Egungun, practice is the way to start your spiritual journey and get from point A to point B with absolutely no money.
Sure.
I am Awo Ifa Jaminire.
I am Awo Ifa Togun She.
You were tuned into
the best,
the greatest
podcast
on the planet Earth.
Let's Talk IFA. Odabo.
Ashewa.
Till next time. Ashewa.
Ashe.